Okay, so this is a phoenix, the phoenix rising from the ashes. Uh, it's a mythological bird associated with the sun. Well, in the center of the earth we have the core of the earth, which is basically a sun. A phoenix obtains a new life by arising from the ashes of its predecessor. According to some sources, the phoenix dies in a show of flames and combustion, although there are other sources that claim that the legendary bird dies and simply decomposes before being born again. Well, it's about rebirth and rejuvenation. You can see it here. It's standing on what appears to be a rock. It has flames at its feet. It has what appears to be a cloud of smoke here. Its head is, I guess you could say, illuminated, and it has purple crimson wings. Okay, so phosphorus, remember this because I think it's significant. Phosphorus is, when you see phosphorus as a powder, it's crimson. You see sulfur as crystal, I think, or you can grind it down, but it's yellow, basically, yellowy orange colour. So we go over here, and I noticed this yesterday when Bill sent me this picture. You notice it's kind of a pinky yellowy colour. It's like a crimson and yellow colour, but it's an explosion. And what I noticed about the explosion um, is that it's a very definite shape. It's got wings. It looks like it looked like a phoenix to me. So talk about synchronicity. I was looking on the internet for the phoenix, and I came up with this picture. Now this picture is very definite because it's pretty much the same. It's so weird. So you look here, you see its kind of chest is in the shape of a V, and then you've got these things going up here as part of the wings. Well, if you look here very closely, I don't know if you can see this, but I can. It's sort of like a V there, and these go up as part of the wings, so it's pretty much the same. You have a little flame here depicting its head, and you have this up here depicting its head. So basically, if you look at a volcano, you can kind of see how they would think of this as a firebird, or that's how they would convey the story over time. So you have here, which is like two wings here, and you have a column that goes up through the middle that really depicts the bird's body and head, or the bird's head. So you have the wings, which would go like this, and the head. So you can see how these types of explosions were thought of as birds, firebirds, the phoenix rising from the ashes. The, a precursor to an explosion in a volcano is lots of smoke, which you can see over here really. So let's have a look at this again. In volcanoes, what volcanoes do, they bring up from the core of the earth, they bring up something called phosphorus, which is it contains the building blocks for life, and it contains um, stuff, elements that affect our DNA. So it contains the building blocks necessary for life. Now, scientists know now that they think that extinction level events are brought about by volcanoes. Volcanoes would bring about tsunamis and all sorts of things. You have a line called the Mid-Atlantic Ridge that is a string really of underwater volcanoes that go from one end of the globe pretty much to the other end of the globe, and there are volcanoes everywhere. Now volcanoes are very interesting because they're connected by caverns and channels, underground caverns and channels. They think they're connected by underground caverns and channels. So at the end of each age, these things erupt and they bring about what? Rebirth, rejuvenation, but not before destruction. I don't think it was always like that, but that's a whole other video. But I just wanted to say that how these things, you can see how they carried these stories through time by way of mythology, like these. You can see how they saw those as birds. I think you can. So if you go over here, you look at volcanic explosions. So you look at, here we have one. You can see how they thought that was a bird shooting from the air like a phoenix, a firebird. Again, you've got the wings here. You can see how they saw it as that. And here it goes, column goes straight up. So these things were carried through time, through stories. And people think, oh, the phoenix is symbolic, rebirth and rejuvenation. Yeah, they are, but they're really just a story told about an event. That's what they're a story told about an actual event that happened. These things aren't just made up. They come from somewhere. And it's very specific, these colours. Whoever drew this knew exactly what was going on, whether it was conscious or subconscious, but I would think it was conscious because these are very specific. This phosphorus, when you have phosphorus as an element, it's like when it's a powder, it's crimson, like this colour. Sulfur is yellow, yellowy orange, like this colour. So everything here is conveyed in pictorial form, and this is one form of communication that most people don't understand. So people will see this and not really realise as on the surface or consciously what is being said. But all it is it's a story carried over time that depicted an actual event that happened. So yeah, right, thanks for listening.